Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Ready to Love Season 9, Episode 5.
Are y'all ready to subscribe? Are y'all ready to like? Are y'all ready to comment? Are y'all ready to leave a thumbs up? Listen here, man. Y'all don't be watching our Ready to Love content.
And I really like Ready to Love. This is one of my favorite ones.
Y'all hurt Blair's feelings and shoulder. Come on now, watch our Ready to Love content. Y'all watch our white people stuff.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Y'all watch our white folks, but watch our black folks. You get what I'm saying? I ain't gonna hold you. If y'all ain't choosing to watch this season, I 100% on you. 100% with you on this one. But
it's a lot of lames.
Yeah, it definitely is. You ready, Blair?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
The guys have the power this week.
Yeah.
They meet up in the men's lounge, and it is Justin's first time meeting all the guys.
Listen, it makes me very upset. I felt some anger rise up in me. The minute Tommy said the men got the power this week, I felt anger. I was hoping we get one of them off this week. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
But, you know, it is what it is.
Tommy tells the guys that Laylan is no longer on the journey.
Yeah.
There will be a pajama party tonight, and it'll be about intimacy and chemistry. He actually broached the conversation saying, we're going to see what the ladies look like in the bedroom. And then he tells them that to get your mind out the gutter, pretty much. I'm just like, don't put that in these guys' head. They're already thinking like that. Thankfully, Lamar is gone. But yes.
Man, you're right. You're right. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. Alexis and Dominique meet up for a date at the stretch lab. Alexis is very limber and Dominique is on the stiff side.
Yeah.
Alexis wants longevity in a relationship. I think she was saying her parents have been together for a long time. And Dominique wants to lighten someone's load and vice versa. He surrounds himself with nurturing people. They have similarities and want some of the same things. Dominique says that Alexis has the spirit of a player, but he explains it of more so being able to multitask and making people feel comfortable. He says these are also good traits of a mother.
Look, man, Blair said something near the beginning of this season which actually made me think while I was watching the show. I was watching the show and I was like, these people, I don't really see anybody with chemistry. I don't really see anybody with the potential to make it to the end. It just feels like you just brought a whole bunch of people on there and you're just giving them scenes to shoot with each other.
Yes, that's how this felt. Yeah.
Yeah, but that may be the realistic part of the show, to where it's like you got these women, you got these men, and these are the most normal men, probably the most realistic women. Most of them are divorced, most of them have kids, and I don't feel no chemistry with these people so far. And I'm just like, maybe in real life it is awkward like this.
Yeah.
Maybe it is like, yo, Dominique and Alexis, that was strange. You get what I'm saying? I'm not even a fan of Alexis no more, but that's a whole different story. But it's just like, how do you feel so far? Because we almost at the midpoint of the season. How do you feel so far about watching these stranger men and these stranger women coming together trying to see if they're ready to love, Blair?
Well, I mean, that's the premise of the show, so I understand. But I feel like for previous seasons, and maybe I just never noticed because people just seem to get along well.
Okay.
But for previous seasons, it seemed like people chose who they wanted to go on dates with and who they wanted to spend time with. Like even the last episode, people chose who they wanted to go on their group dates with.
Yeah.
Or at least it was presented that way. The matchings and pairings of the dates seemed really mismatched. Like even next we have Laron and Vanessa going on a date. And Vanessa ain't no more interested in Laron than a little bit. So the pairings for the dates were a little off to me this episode. Yeah.
Okay, let's go. So
Laron tells us that he sets up the date with Vanessa. They are going to be doing paddleboard yoga. I'm like, this ain't even something that Laron would want to do, it seems like. So Laron is falling in the water and Vanessa is able to do all the poses on the paddleboard. She does fall a little bit. Laron is focusing on just being able to stand.
I understand, brother.
They both say the process is difficult, and Vanessa asks him questions about going out multiple times a week, kind of how it's seeming like he's a party boy. Yeah. He tells us that he works at home, so he hangs out so that he can be social, and he's not at home all the time being a hermit. Vanessa says, like, well, you know, he doesn't have children, and he doesn't have the same responsibilities that she does, so it will be maybe more of a challenge to get him to adopt to her lifestyle rather than finding somebody who's already kind of living a more quieted down lifestyle. Yeah. And Laron feels that there's a disconnect and he doesn't like people labeling him as a party boy.
People? You said this, brother.
That was one of the first things you told us. You go out Wednesday to Sunday.
You told us this before you told us your name, man. Mm-hmm. So I don't understand this whole thing of labeling as a party boy when you told us this. You said you turn up. I think this is what he said verbatim. Don't quote me, but quote me. He said, I turn up from Wednesday to Sunday, basically, and I'm on the show to see if someone can basically make me not do that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think he said something across those lines.
Yeah.
Laron, listen here. Whatever this label is, there is this thing going on with these guys to where men will say something, and then when the women take them for their word, the men get mad and be like, why are you calling me that? I don't know what's going on. It happened with Lamar. It happened with Mike. I mean, not Mike. It happened with Will. Okay. And things like that. I'm about to say, who Mike?
Exactly. You know, I was wondering, who is Mike?
It happened with Will and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, he said, as in Laron, that you like to turn up from Wednesday to Sunday. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? No one's labeling you a party boy. Even then, I don't even think people are labeling you a party boy from Wednesday to Sunday. There's a certain look that comes with this party boy that like to be in the streets. People just think you just like, maybe you just like to be outside drinking all the time. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? How do you feel about this scene? Do this kind of support what you was talking about, how they just pairing people together? Yeah,
the activity was odd and mismatched for them. I feel like this is something Vanessa would probably like or would want to try. But Laron, it seems like the other stuff where we go out to eat, we go to the restaurant, we chop it up, we go to a bar, that seems more his speed. But,
food? Drinks? Okay.
So I just feel like it was just a date, but I don't think they'll be going on any other dates unless the producers tell them to.
That's true.
So, well, we get to the house for the pajama party.
Yeah.
Koshiea says that she isn't going to be avoiding anyone. If there's smoke, she's going for it.
Looking right at Alexis.
Jonathan is talking to Alexis, and he tells her that he likes her. He feels comfortable around her. And Alexis wants to see if he's always reserved or if he has another side to him. Mm-hmm. And Alexis says that, she's not necessarily super calm. She's, she can be a lot of different things. And Jonathan says he can get wild.
Yeah. I remember when Jonathan first came on the show and stuff like that, when their side was introduced, he was talking to Alexis and things like that. But even then, even though he said it, I'm like, I don't see it.
Yeah.
I don't see it more than you saying, hey, I like you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Even with the date where, remember, Koshiea and it was Koshiea and Alexis and Alonzo and Jonathan and things like that with their double date. I do remember him talking to her and things like that, but it just seems homeboyish. I don't know what it is.
I think that's just Alexis' vibe.
Yeah, like a little tomboyish a little bit. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Chaz tells Vanessa that she looks beautiful.
Okay.
Dominique and Mika talk. He says that he hasn't always been ready for relationships, but he's ready now. And he isn't someone who will date somebody if he doesn't see something long term.
Yeah.
And Mika feels the same way. She tells us that she's been having kids since she was 18. Mm-hmm. And Dominique wants to be a father, but Mika says that she doesn't want any more children.
If there's anybody who's talking to these people like we on the phone, homeboy-ish, it is Mika.
Yeah. Because I don't think she's interested in anybody. She's just like, I'm going to just chop it up, ask questions, and not really get to know them to see if they're a good fit. I feel like she's just like, I'm just here hanging out.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. I'm like, Mika's just talking because, it's my turn to shoot? Okay. Mm-hmm. And everything that Mika basically said that she wants, it always come in the form of what she don't want.
Yeah.
She don't want somebody who wants kids. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, you got a lot of men on the show who are not fathers yet. It's not their fault, or I don't say that you're blaming them, but it's not their fault that they wasn't having kids at 18 either.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So Mika just seems very like everybody she talks to, she's not trying.
Yeah.
She just like, I'm having a conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Koshiea tells Justin that she told the ladies that he seems like a good guy.
Yeah.
But she needs to give him some food so we can put a little bit of weight on him.
Ooh, so she's a chubby chaser.
And he tells us that he lost about 15 pounds. And she was like, well, we need to put the weight back on you.
How did you feel about that?
I felt like it was her trying to just have a conversation, have something to say. I don't like when people talk about people's weight in their bodies and stuff like that. I just feel like it's unnecessary. Either you find the person attractive or not.
Not even if it's the other way?
No.
Not even if put weight on, lose weight?
No.
Oh, okay.
I just feel like you should leave people alone about their bodies. I mean, unless you're complimenting, like if somebody's really muscular or you see that they've been working hard and made some progress towards something that you know that's something that they're trying to reach for. But for the most part, people's weight fluctuates. And even with guys, like, I don't know, I always, sometimes think like people have health issues. You don't know what people are going through. So I'm just like, leave people alone. If somebody looks nice, tell them they look nice.
There'll be
regardless of the sex.
There'll be no body shaming with Blair, okay? Look.
Well, what'd you think?
I think I have a problem with it because it's not a lot of women who basically make it known that they like big guys.
Okay.
You'll find like when you're like in your like 18 to 25 and things like that, maybe even to 27, you have your ideal guy and stuff like that. Like, he got to be chiseled, got to be The Rock. You know what I mean? He got to be Morris Chestnut and things like that. But once you you get in your 30s and things like that, that's when I found out a lot of women do prefer bigger guys and things like that. She even asked him, how tall are you? Because at first she said, let's get you to I think she said 205 or 215.
210, 215.
And I'm like, he ain't 6 feet.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So 215 and he's like, I'm 6. He said, I'm 5'8"-ish. You get what I'm saying? And she was like, that sound like 5'7". So you want him 5'7", 215 pounds? Ooh, I think she like little chubby guys. You get what I'm saying?
Well, she like Laron.
We get to that eventually because that was a strange scene. But go ahead.
Laron feels that Koshiea has been secretive or mysterious lately. He and Koshiea talk on the phone for hours, but he really hasn't been talking to her at this pajama party. Koshiea is talking to Chaz and offering to make him some plates. Laron thinks that she might have decided not to fool with him anymore.
How did you feel about that?
I thought Laron was being weird.
Yes.
We're on a dating show. We have to mix and mingle. We're at a party. And it's not like Laron is sitting down waiting for Koshiea.
He was over there. Exactly.
He was talking to people and standing next to folks also.
Playing Jenga, whatever the heck the game is and things like that.
So I don't know what he expects from her that he's not doing himself.
Listen here. What do I say, Blair? This is not only a dating show. It is a game show. And who have the power this week?
The men.
And guess who's not going to eliminate me if I make their plate? Me.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So, I don't know what it is. I'm not this like Hotep is.
That's right.
That's right. Thank you. I'm not this red pill guy and everything like that, but it does feel good to have your plate made. You get what I'm saying? Usually whenever I cook, I make the plate. I make the plate because I cook the food, and there's a certain way you got to make the food on the plate. You eat with your eyes first. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
You're not just going to cafeteria lady my food on the plate. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
No, I cooked it, so there's a certain way I want it presented.
Yes, you want it plated correctly.
Exactly. Not because you cook, they just start putting things on the plate. So I didn't see a problem with her basically like, hey, you want me to make you your plate for real? Like, you get what I'm saying? I see her basically being a woman on the show trying to make a connection.
Yeah.
Trying to make multiple connections. Because at the end of the day, just me having a connection with you is not going to save you if all the other women don't have a connection with you.
Yeah, all the other guys, yeah.
No, I'm talking about the women. When, like, the women have the power.
On that
you get what I'm saying? So I'm like, with Laron, we talk for hours, and I actually don't know why she's acting. She's doing her job as trying to protect herself for weeks to come, so multiple guys could be like, oh, she's cool. I like her too. She's cool. Just Laron liking her is not going to save her.
No.
You get what I'm saying? So, Laron, you came on very insecure. A reason why I was like, now I can see why you signed up for this show. Let's go.
Well, Tommy arrives, and he pretty much tells them to do what Koshiea been doing, which is mixing and mingling.
Come on now.
And the men are in power this week, he reveals. By the end of the party, one of the ladies will be going home.
In her pajamas. That's crazy.
Will is still upset that one of the ladies was talking about him sleeping on the floor. So he is going around asking all the women who said that. Now, just by him doing that, I was just like, Will, you are showing your slip. Because for anybody who didn't remember, they will remember today when you say, did you say I was sleeping on the floor? And then I think Rashina was just like, I ain't heard nothing about that. But I'm sure she's going to remember now. So he says, I'm trying to read people's body language and this and that. When he finally gets to Priscilla's just like, yeah, you said that to me. She said, when we talked, you said you were taking your covers and sleeping on the ground. She said that was their exact conversation. Will is saying that he is a multimillionaire. He is not making this up, and he does not have to sleep on the floor. He said, why would I have to sleep on the floor with all the houses I have? And she said, I don't know.
That is it.
I don't know why you'd be sleeping on the floor. That's what you said to me.
What did you think about that interaction, Blair?
Yeah, I'm like, Will, let it go. And honestly, I feel like Will probably said that to her. I don't know if he was joking or not, but the jokes don't seem to land with these guys because I don't think they're that funny. So, yeah, well, you probably said it, and Priscilla took it as actual factual. And maybe you shouldn't play around like that with people you don't know.
Listen here, man. I think you were sleeping on the floor.
Possibly.
The minute a man say, I'm a multi-millionaire, I don't need this. I don't need to sleep on the floor. I'm just on the show for fun. Listen here, he had that big chain and that big bracelet and things like that, and he talked about how much money he have. And truth be told, I looked at the scene a little deeper. I think if you like Alexis so much, Will, right? Why are you exposing her for bringing information to you? Yeah. If you go around asking these women, did you say I sleep on the floor? Did you say I sleep on the floor? Floor? Did I sleep on the floor with you? Like if you go around doing that, I think the women's gonna get who is only you keep taking our conversations, Alexis, in this lounge and bringing it outside the lounge to this little guy, and things like that. So, Will, you're a clown. I say all that to say I got to my point. You're a clown. Any guy that tries to use their money means they ain't got enough character, they ain't got enough personality, they ain't got enough whatever they need to quote unquote. Attract women, attract friends, attract whatever they want. So they try to buy it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And guess what? At the end of the day, whatever you have, you are next to guys like Lamar, Laron, William, Dominique, Chaz. You're just like one of the guys on the show. Yeah. You're not this multi-millionaire special guy. Yeah. You get what I'm saying?
William and Maya, they are pretty much the only ones, to me, I think, having a good time. Just vibing, taking pictures, laughing, joking.
And look, let me, listen here. I said out of one side of my mouth, I ain't like William. Let me, speak on the other side of my mouth, I ain't like William. My beef with William only came from when he came to the first function without a jacket. Yeah. I'm like, what you doing, brother? But now he seems like outside of, the veteran gun place he want to open. He just seems the most genuine so far. You got.
Mika thinks that Justin comes off a little goofy. So she's going to sit down and talk to him just to see what he's like. See, I'm like, Mika, you kind of come across like you be judging people first. And I think we all do that a little bit. But it's like she's going into conversations, I think, for the guys to prove something to her. I think that's the energy I get as well. So Justin tells her that he's made peace, that he might not have kids. Because that's, the question that Mika asks everybody to figure out if she's going to talk to them any further. And that's a plus for Mika. She says her kids are 18 and 6. And Justin says that he is cool with potentially playing stepdaddy.
Listen, I know she said she was having kids at 18 and things like that. But when she said one of her kids was 18, I was like, whoa. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Because she ain't 40. Right. You know what I mean? But that's what happened when you have kids at 18, you know? Yeah, Justin, run. You don't want to deal with no woman that the son can potentially whip your behind. Okay. You get what I'm saying? I think that's different than.
Well, the daughter's the oldest, 18.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, I thought the son was
the son is 6.
Okay, cool. Because I'm about to say if the son is 18, things like that. Listen here, I don't really know the situation and things like that. Hopefully, they got the same father, but it's none of my business. Stuff like that, I'm like, man, you should really try to at least repair your relationship with somebody. 18 and 6.
That's a big gap.
I know it's a big gap, but I'm just like, man, to ask a lot, I think is unfair. Me speaking as a man with no women parts, I think it's just unfair for you to be single and for you to have one grown kid and one 6-year-old to be like, hey, if you want to be with me, I don't want to have none of your kids. You can't have one? like just one. like
you don't want a sibling for the 6-year-old?
Like just one?
To grow up in the house together? You know, I guess not.
So I'm just like, Mika, you're making it harder. The older you get, the more you're making like your list sound more unrealistic, especially for a guy. Because she wants a guy, if I heard correctly, she wants a guy that has no kids and who's willing to not want any kids.
I don't know if she says she wants him to not have kids.
Because I remember her saying something like, finally a guy who has no kids and who don't expect me to have no kids. So that gave off as if like she's like, that's a plus.
Okay.
And I'm just like, look, if you want a guy that wants no kids, that's one thing. But at your age, at our age, and he don't have no kids either, ooh.
Yeah.
I think you're looking for like a horse that got the little horn on the head. I think
a unicorn.
I think like you're looking for a little unicorn.
Okay.
But you know, even them, it was a nice conversation, but I don't see no bond between them two.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Jonathan and Koshiea are talking, and they're both bonding over the fact that their favorite color is black.
That's one of my favorite colors.
Laron goes to grab Koshiea to have a conversation.
Come here.
Because he thinks Koshiea is playing him.
Mm-hmm.
Laron tells her that she shut him off, and she's over here smiling in dudes' faces. Mm-hmm. He wants to know where they're at, and not just because it's elimination night. I'm just like, you did need to throw that in there, didn't you? To let her know you had the power.
Tell me what's going on right now because it's elimination night. You're like, oh, okay.
Well, Koshiea says that she's been consistent, and she says, I have to allow you to go through the process. She really doesn't answer the question. I don't know if she was getting to it. Mm-hmm. But Maya comes up and says that she has a bone to pick with LaRon. She go ahead and sit her plate down to sit at the same table with them. And she's like, you were over here calling me greedy. And she's over here saying, like, he's a party boy. He's a party boy. So LaRon gets up, tells her to stop it. He goes over touching her, like, joking around with her and stuff in the middle of his conversation with Koshiea. Mm-hmm. And Koshiea feels like she's arguing with a child. She's upset by the show he did with Maya. Mm-hmm. And LaRon says, you're telling me I'm your number one, but you're chit-chatting with everyone. Koshiea starts to cry, and she shuts down. Chaz is sitting next to her, and he said, look, she's upset, and, you know, Laron, he's getting up, and he's like, this is BS. So Chaz is like, so you're just going to leave her? Laron said, she'll come find me when she needs me.
Listen here, I love an instigator boy. Mm-hmm. If I was Chaz, I'd be like, yo, you really made her cry? I'm going to ask you from a woman's perspective, right? Because there was something that she said that made me think, She says, yes, my behavior towards you has been different. Because she acknowledged that, like, you know, they do talk behind the scenes and things like that. Uh-huh. And she did say, yes, my behavior with you have been different, but I have to allow you to go through the process. Something across those lines. Do you think Koshiea was doing what she was doing on purpose?
Yeah. A little bit to get under Laron's skin. Mm-hmm. A little bit. Because Laron is talking and hanging out and joking around with people, and the fact that, remember in the last Ladies Lounge, Maya was saying that she and LaRon really connected. Mm-hmm. I think that bothered her a little bit. So I do think she's playing the game, but I do think she's trying to get under his skin a little bit to see if she can make him a little bit jealous, and it worked.
I'm about to say, and if that was the plan, LaRon, you failed. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? My whole thing is, guess what? If you mad at her making connections, I think I saw you with Maya, I think her name was, having at the restaurant and things of that nature, establishing a stronger connection with her too. My whole thing is this: you just came off as weird, right? That's like the word for these type of shows and things like that. Even when Maya came over, like, hey, party boy, frat boy, and things like that, you getting up trying to like stop her from talking as if it's like.
Like you're in high school. That's what it felt.
It felt like you wanted to put your hand over her mouth and rock her side to side and things like that. And I'm just like, hey, look, a real man would have said this. What I would have did. I'm not saying I'm a real man, but I am a real man.
The realest I know.
Thank you, baby. I just would have put Koshiea aside and not. I wouldn't even talk about her behavior. Mm-hmm. I just would establish how I felt about her. Mm-hmm. Period. Or reestablish. Just pull her aside and say, I hope to have some one-on-one time with you because I do like you.
Instead of making it an argument.
Besides making it like, what's up with you? You said you like me. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, just pull her aside and be like, you look beautiful Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because these women are in their sleeping wear, whatever it is, except for Chaz, right?
Yeah.
You just say, you look beautiful, and I hope to have some one-on-one time with you. Mm-hmm. I miss you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And just leave it alone with that. Go back to playing Jenga.
Yeah.
Go back to eating or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Will says that Koshiea is the worst type to get into this argument with because she's the type to lie and blow things out of proportion. Will is just mad because Koshiea didn't have a good experience with him, and she voiced that, which they're supposed to do in the ladies' lounge. It's the first episode.
Yeah. It's the first episode where he was inappropriate. When he was like, was the D that good?
Yeah.
Dude, you get what I'm saying?
And that was wild to say.
That was very rude to say. You don't know me, sucker. You know what I'm saying?
Like, that's what I'm saying. Will is too comfortable with people and just saying whatever.
Yes.
And that's why people think that you sleep on the floor, you ain't got no house, and you just a little nasty little man.
Yeah, man. So, anyway. Nasty millionaire.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Chaz tells Laron that he needs to relax. He says that you can't be dismissive and listening at the same time.
You being dismissive.
Yes. He tells Laron that he wasn't good at listening back in the day, and that is what kept him single for a long time.
Yeah.
And just to give you clarity on the age difference, I think Laron is like 30-something. Chaz is closer towards 50. He's in his late 40s.
Really? So you really caught me off guard with that.
Yeah. So I think he's really trying to give him some type of like big bro advice.
Okay.
Yeah. And he says, as black men, we have to get better at listening. Laron says, I was listening and it was BS.
Okay.
Koshiea says that she's crying because, Justin feels that Koshiea is crying because she is really into him. And Laron says that Chaz has made valid points, but he is still not trying to hear it. His ego made him move in a way that he feels that he shouldn't have.
Listen here, I understand Chaz trying to talk like a big bro, but I'm not your little bro.
True.
You get what I'm saying? You on this show with me. Worry about your Vanessa.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? I mean, forget about how the whole conversation shouldn't have happened. If I was him, I just would have been like, yeah, bro, that whole conversation shouldn't have happened. If your whole intention was to have her cry, no, then that conversation shouldn't have happened. That's all I would have said.
Yeah.
And I tell you how I would have did it. I just would have just pulled her aside and held her hand. I wouldn't have pulled her aside in the middle of the conversation that she was having with Jonathan, I think it was.
Yeah.
But I just would have pulled her aside, held her hand, let her know she looked beautiful, let her know I miss her, and let her know I would like some alone time with her tonight. And just leave it at that. And always put the ball in the person's court.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And if they decide to kick it back with you, want to play soccer with you, then cool, that's cool. I never, ever, right, ask a woman for their number. I did it one time, and once they told me no, I said, I don't want to feel this way. No, I don't want to feel stupid no more, right? So I always was the one to give my number first and let them decide if they go call me and things like that. Now, I ain't gonna say I always been the cool guy to where I just gave the number and just was cool and just went about my day. There's times I stayed at the phone. You know what I'm saying? Trust me, there's definitely times I stayed at the phone. You know, and back then we didn't have call ID, so when that phone rung, hello? Ma, you know what I mean? Like, so I just think a lot of these guys who are in their 30s, you say even mid 40s, they don't have the they don't
have charm.
They don't have things that you pick up in middle school, high school, college. You get what I'm saying? Life experiences. It just seems like they just feel like I'm grown and I like women and I'm gonna get women. It just seems like they don't have the steps of how to interact with this. Because this was very, what's the word? Like very immature, juvenile. That's the word right there. This was juvenile. You see this in middle school. You know what I mean? But let's go.
Well, they go ahead and go to play Truth or Sexy instead of Truth or Dare.
Okay.
Patrice chooses Truth, and Chaz asks her, out of all the guys, who's the sexiest, and she says Chaz.
Okay.
Dominique asks Koshiea, is Laron your top connection? And she says yes. Laron don't really believe it in this moment.
Yeah, but like
he's just real pissy right now.
But look, you saw it. You saw it in the moment when she said yes. You saw like his little wall starting to come down a little bit. Like you get what I'm saying?
Maya throws the inner circle in front of Justin, her least connection.
Dang. Okay.
And Will kisses the feet of his strongest connection, which is Alexis.
Stop right there for a second. When they dared him to do that, you heard Jonathan, he was like, hey, bro, I trade with you.
Yeah.
I trade with you. Because if you remember, Jonathan, when he had the date with Alexis back in the a time where Alonzo said choke to spank.
Yeah.
He was talking about sucking toes and how he said he's a feet guy.
Uh-huh.
So when they dared Will to be like, I dare you to kiss the feet of your strongest connection, he was like, yeah. I want that. You know what I mean? Because he said he's a feet guy. You know what I mean? So, and even Will, he did it weird and stuff like that. Will is, it is what it is.
Jonathan tells us that he's been drinking.
Uh-huh.
So for his thing that he does, he pulls Alexis on top of him, pulls her tight, get to sucking and licking on her neck, and she is very awkward and uncomfortable, and it doesn't seem like she's enjoying it at all, to the point where the guys end up helping her to get off of him.
Yeah, now I think the dare was for Jonathan to go to his strongest connection and whisper
something in their ear.
Mm-hmm. So he grabs her. And basically, she straddles him, but by his assistance,
by his force,
and basically he grabs, the back of her neck and things like that. And the thing I gotta ask Alexis, dude, like, you still want to be close with the guys?
Okay,
dude,
they know who to play with.
They know who to play with now, right? See, you think you one of the fellas, and this is how it usually ends up when you think you one of the fellas and things like that.
Tell us.
Not a lot of fellas have enough discipline to just be platonically friends with a woman and things like that. So in other ways, a man can be friends with a man and there's like their handshake, high five and things of that nature. But for somehow with you, because they know to play with Koshiea, but not with you, you to the point where now you on this man's lap and you're like, oh my God, it's too much. Your shirt is undone, your bra is seen and things like that. And that's what happens when you try to think you're like one of these guys' homeboys. Mm-hmm. That's what happens when you think, like, by me going back and bringing information that's amongst the women, the guys will like me more. Well, this is what it looks like when guys like you, unfortunately.
Yeah. You
get what I'm saying? And it's unfortunate because I'm like, look, I'm not blaming her. Mm-hmm. I'm blaming her for ignorance.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
and trying to put it on another woman that it's her fault that people are being inappropriate with her. Don't do that again.
Exactly.
Especially now that you've experienced it. And I'm not even trying to put it on you, but I'm just saying don't do that to somebody else.
We are not.
Don't do that to somebody else.
We're not victim blaming. We're not body shaming. But you try to victim blame Koshiea.
Yeah.
Basically saying like she tried to be sexy with everybody, doing too much, showing her, being all this sexy with all these other guys. You was doing nothing but sitting down, and guess what? Johnny grabbed you. Come here, homegirl.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you're like, it's too much. Mm-hmm. It's too much. Well, yeah. I guess he know who to play with. You know what I'm saying? Because I tell you one thing, he wouldn't have grabbed Koshiea and did that to her.
No, Koshiea would have probably bopped him in the throat.
She wouldn't have allowed it.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Well, Tommy breaks up the party. I was actually hoping he would have said something to Jonathan. Maybe he'll pull him aside, but I doubt it.
He ain't see it.
But Jonathan is feeling Alexis. Will's connection is with Alexis as well. Jonathan in a corner laughing. Dominique thinks Alexis is cool. Chaz's strongest connection is Vanessa. Alonzo says Patrice. William says Maya. Justin says Mika. And Laron says Koshiea.
Yeah.
They are not feeling Mika. They feel that she's coming across as a friend.
Purposely.
Justin isn't connecting with Vanessa. And Laron isn't connecting with Alexis. And then Will makes a little comment of, like, I know you lying. And Laron's like, I don't connect with her. What do you want me to say? Like, Jonathan was annoyed that they both said Alexis' name for the connection. Now you upset somebody saying they don't connect with Alexis?
Yeah.
Y'all are a strange bunch. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Dominique, Alonzo, and Will all say that they're not feeling Koshiea.
Yeah.
And then we find that the women in the bottom two are Mika and Koshiea, and they leave us on a cliffhanger to find out who goes home next week.
Who do you think go home next week?
I think it's Mika.
Me too.
Yeah, I don't think she really has a strong connection with anybody.
No, purposely, by the way. Mm-hmm. The thing about it is Alonzo was like, you know what? The reason he was justifying put Koshiea there, he said, I put myself on the line. And, it wasn't received.
And he didn't like how she handled the disagreement they had. I'm like, bro, like you went and apologized to her and she accepted your apology.
You said choke to spank. And that's what she should have said. What I'm going to do to you? Mm-hmm. And she should have smacked you and then choked you once you was on the floor. Listen here. Watching the guys in power is like watching the villain win. It's like I'm watching I'm watching these bad guys win, and they have the power to eliminate one of these women and things like that. And I'm just like, where's Superman?
Yes.
When you need him. Come on, Clark Kent. You know? And I'm just watching these men talk about these women, talk about Koshiea misrepresenting her and things like that. And Koshiea's not even my favorite person on the show. I don't even have a favorite person on the show.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy. Last season, our favorite person was Janelle. You know,
that was your favorite person.
And so it's like this season, I don't really have a favorite person for nobody. The reason why I feel like I'm being forced to like Koshiea is because I feel like I'm always defending her.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Because people are putting her in positions the way they say, was like the D that good? Choked her, spanked. You get what I'm saying? Basically, Lion said I put myself on the line. So I just feel like or like you being open with all the men, you being a little sexy, too sexy. I just feel like I'm always defending her. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? But other than that, I think Mika, it's your time to go home. I think you want to go home. You ain't trying. I just think you just wasn't quick enough to come up with an excuse like Leyland with hey, my mama need me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Anything else you want to share on this episode?
No, I feel like I said it all.
Yeah, me too. Make sure y'all subscribe, thumbs up. I want 40 likes on this video if y'all could give us that.
And at least 2 comments.
Something, right?
Even if you comment twice.
No, don't comment twice.
Hello and goodbye.
Y'all be good.
Bye.